Thank you for joining us in today's Connection Point End Times News Briefing podcast. And as we can see all that is happening around the world, we are seeing so much tension, uncertainty, and chaos. From all the natural disasters to the COVID lockdowns to the geopolitical instability all over the world, we're seeing an escalation of so many of these things happening so quickly. As many of you are seeing the crisis that is happening in Afghanistan, where the Taliban has sieged to power and is taking over the region. The military in Afghanistan, the Afghan president have already fled the country. The Taliban officials declare victory and restoration of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan after occupying the presidential palace in Kabul on Sunday. The restored Islamic Emirate will likely exercise stronger control over the region than it did before the U.S. invasion. The Taliban regime, which ruled most of the country from 96 to 2001, never exercised complete territorial control within Afghanistan's official borders. Much of the Northeast was under the control of anti-Taliban militants at the time of the U.S. invasion, and those groups had holdout territories have, however, evaporated. In early July this last year, the Taliban was sweeping through the region, formerly the center of the fiercest resistance against the Taliban pre-invasion, taking many of its districts without any fights, and as we see them going into Kabul right now. And so the Afghan soldiers defected and deserted in droves, fleeing to many of the neighboring countries. And this is what happens when the country isn't in a stable place, when there's a vacuum of leadership and stability. And when you have the current U.S. administration with Biden, when they're more focused on wokeness and Black Lives Matter and LGBT agenda than doing what's right, not only in protecting and defending the freedoms in America and growing the economy, but also around the world. But you're going to see this sort of situations taking place. We're going to see the world taking advantage of the lack of leadership and lack of backbone that the U.S. does not have anymore. Anyways, in terms of what is happening in Afghanistan, we're going to see most likely a surge in violence and terrorism threats and tension within the whole Middle East region, and we're going to see this ripple effect across the nations. And so we need to be praying for the Afghani believers, those who have come to Christ, the Christians there, for protection, and those who are facing this uncertain future and possible persecution to a whole nother level than before in the face of this Taliban takeover of the country. So we need to be praying for wisdom and protection there. On another news report concerning natural disasters, as most of you know about the massive earthquake in Haiti, which was a 7.2 on the Richter scale, and so many deaths so far. But we need to be praying for those who are affected by this disaster. And we're going to see more earthquakes, not only in that region, but around the world. Many other natural disasters, as we've been pointing out from time to time, that are happening from earthquakes in all these different diverse places, just as Matthew 24 tells us, earthquakes in various places. We're seeing fires, brush fires all over the world, and flooding at a whole nother epic proportions than recent years, and Turkey and Japan and many other countries where so much flooding is happening, and it's creating such damage and such a mess everywhere. There was even an interesting report of how Russia President Putin alarmed over unprecedented natural disasters in Russia. On Saturday, he said that the scale of natural disasters that have hit Russia this year is absolutely unprecedented, as local officials asked for Moscow's help to tackle fires and floods. Anyways, we're seeing such natural disasters at epic proportions lately, and it seems that there's certain increasingly globally each week to some degree, from fires to floods to earthquakes and other things like that. And one last item to mention or to exhort you with, as we try to do each time we do an update, is that just to keep that foundation and your focus in your walk with the Lord strong. Don't let circumstances or situations around us to put fear or worry or anxiety in us. We can still have peace in the midst of everything that's going on. We know how it's all going to turn out. We need to keep our trust in the Lord and do all that we can to be productive, to occupy and be busy serving the Lord until he comes back for us like he said he would. So that is a daily focus for us. And so just keep pressing on. Amen. Until next time, God bless.